China, like a lot of other countries, do have some kind of social credit system to see if you want to borrow money for a house or a car, for example. You would get checked by a company like Equifax or something like that. And if your credit system or your credit score is okay, then off you go. The only difference in China is it's not privately done, it's actually done via the government. You can get a score up to 900, so if your score is about 700, it's pretty good. 500 is not so good. And this is not just based on, let's say, you paying off your loans. This is based on your whole life. Now, basically, if you don't do anything wrong and you're a law-abiding, good citizen who doesn't smoke much, drink much, do drugs, do something illegal, then you'll be fine. But if you have, let's say, you go to a bar every night, you pay via a QR code or a credit card or a debit card, then your score is going to go down because it's a bad thing. If you buy too many cigarettes in 7-Eleven, your score is going to go down. So life choices are there. Is that a good thing or is it a bad thing? Because you lose your choice of independence. If you want to smoke yourself to death or drink yourself to death, that's your choice. And if it does get to a very low score and basically you turn into a criminal, maybe because of some uncertain matters, this can happen to you. Yep, named and shamed, publicly, digitally.
多方面的事情都有，再来活跃了言语素质。
Even English-speaking state media, Chinese global television network, would say exactly the same thing. If you don't have a credit score, you can't rent a house, you can't even take a train, you can't go to the golf course, you can't eat in a luxury restaurant, for example. That's, I would say, is over the top.
Me to another part of the government social credit system. Here I am at the Supreme People's Court in Beijing. Till February 2019, over 30 million people are named in a list of dishonest persons subject to enforcement by this court. They cannot go traveling by planes, they cannot go traveling by high-speed trains, they cannot go to luxury restaurants, and they can't get a golf courses. They are unable to get an insurance, and they can't even rent a house. If trust is broken in one place, restrictions are imposed.
But actually, some people like it.
It also works in a lot of penny shops now. Simply just look at the camera and just click confirm. It literally just takes seconds to check out. I know scanning a QR code or tapping your phone does the same job, but this is just even better to me. So what's the reason to resist it? If you think tapping your phone to take subway is good enough, here's something crazier. You can get on a bus by just scanning your face. The only thing you need to make sure is that you've got enough credit of your own. When vending machines take no more cash, instead it takes your Face ID that links to your online account.
So in the United States, for example, if you wanted to apply for a credit card, they would do a background check on you, usually privately done, again, through a privately owned company like Equifax, or I can't remember any of the other companies. And then if your score is good enough, you're a calculated good risk, maybe on an unsecured debt, then you've got it. And if you pay off your debts, everything gets better. Then you can get another loan in the future for buying a washing machine or a Lamborghini, for example. But in China, I repeat, this is done on everything that you pay for digitally. And most people in China, like a lot of the world nowadays, you don't use cash, you just use a QR code on your phone, which is linked to your bank. In other countries, this is done privately. The government can't intervene with it unless they get a court order to delve into it because you are some kind of criminal. But a lot of criminals aren't going to be that stupid to do it. They're going to do this through the dark web, and they're going to do it through cryptocurrency. But in China, this is everything.
They're constantly monitored by facial recognition cameras that are able to instantly put a face to a name. Now the Chinese are also ranked, given a mark out of a possible 950 points. A score in the 700s is considered good. Around the 500 mark is not. For now, the number is a sort of bank credit rating, keeping track of everyone's spending habits.
I think being ranked is a good thing. A society has to have rules.
It forces us to be well behaved.
It may seem scary, but it's just like that here. We're used to it, and anyway, we don't have a choice.
But in an effort to keep all of its subjects in line, Beijing is taking the system a step further in 2020. It's aggregating data gathered by banks, private companies and the state to rate if someone's a good or bad citizen.
By using the most data possible, the so-called big data, the system will play an important role in rebuilding a moral society.
The state will go over every detail of a person's life with a fine-tooth comb. Their financial situation, spending habits, career, even behavior on social media. Criticizing the government online or displaying outward signs of wealth is a no-no. On the other hand, praising the party or giving blood increases your social credit. Journalist Liu Hu, he got a little too close to uncovering corruption among high-profile party members. After being sued for defamation by the subject of a story he'd written, he was blacklisted. He only realized when he tried to buy a train ticket and was told he was banned from traveling.
That tells me I'm still on the blacklist.
Punished because he's been branded untrustworthy by the state.
Once you're blacklisted, you can no longer get a bank loan, start a business, buy an apartment, or even send your children to a private school.
So, is this good or bad? Is this taking away part of your freedom? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Here, I'm a foreigner in a foreign country away from England. I do have a credit card, but what I did, I put a deposit in the bank that I can use this credit card. Yeah, it's not a big amount, but it also guarantees and it pays interest because it's on a time deposit of something like 5% per year. So in that way, it's okay. But in this country, there is zero, and it works quite well, I would say. It is a poor country, it is a developing country here, but I think China's one personally is just over the top, and it takes away your freedom, it takes away your liberty, it takes away your privacy. But again, if you're a good citizen, it's not really going to affect you. Here's another report.
Analysts estimate that over half of the world's nearly 1 billion surveillance cameras are in China. These cameras surveil and store the images of all who cross their paths. A bidding document from Fujian province in the country's southeast details the police's plan to improve their facial analysis system. It reveals just how much data their facial recognition cameras are capturing. So much so that they required a database 20 times as large. In this case, the system detects faces from video feeds and stores 2,000 images of those faces every day. Police keep them for 6 months. There are 7,000 video feeds in this Fujian system, so that's 2.5 billion facial images stored at any given time. All those images are for just one province in China. To put that in context, that's 3 times bigger than one of the largest US government facial recognition databases, which is run by Homeland Security. Throughout China, authorities are highly strategic about where they place cameras. Dozens of documents show that police detail the locations and precise viewing angles for the cameras. For example, there are instructions for a camera's placement on the northwest side of this apartment building in Beijing, and across the street from this kindergarten in the city of Jiaxing. Police don't just watch from the outside either. They want to put cameras inside the lobbies of these hotels. including at this franchise location of American hotel brand Days Inn. The hotel's front desk manager told The Times that the camera does not have facial recognition capabilities and is not feeding videos into the police network. One document from the town of Xiqiao in Guangdong province reveals the philosophy of local officials as they aim for maximum.
Please do leave your comments in the comment section below if you got any questions. I just wanted to explain it and the comparison between, you could say, the so-called West. Now, let's leave with something happy and the remake or the original Kung Fu Panda. I would like to say goodbye now, and whatever you do, don't mess with my Kung Fu!
好看。刚才那个可以截个图的是吧？哇！
谁呀？在那里。
在那乐呢，他好像。哎呀！
打招呼呢，你呀。
没有劲儿了。
就能掉下来。
哎呦！
哎，鸟毛了。